That would be difficult for us.
I'll be honest with you, after school, the kids are so tired that I'm not sure how effective after school is for years. Yeah, during lunches is
Well, you know what, they started programs that now start in kindergarten with writing and math, doing proofs, and writing hands and proofs as and
Well, you all think that's
Things that would impact classroom study.
I don't know if it's the solution, but it's a help.
You know, inside the
It's a help.
Like an outdoor laboratory.
It would be great to have all of
Something
that.
science.
How does that affect? Well, I mean, we have I'm going to put a crane on the parade, though. My classroom, my window face that courtyard. That's not late show.
we would send home permission.
How about the next one? Attendance at PTO-STM technology meetings is needed for overall contributions to the school? Yes? No? You don't want any of it anywhere else? Sorry. Okay. PTO, STM, and technology. Why?
Because
Okay.
not all the class.
And she works for Rotary. So what are you putting down, Laura?
The one that we're having 20 minutes ago.
Oh, we're only down to here.
Okay. So this would be not necessarily every meeting of these.
We're involved with a fourth grade class, but we're going to go around the room and just interact what was shared and what your concerns are, and maybe Rotarian or the teacher can communicate within a couple of minutes, 3-4 minutes, how we're going to go from here. Or how would you like us to be more effective in working with you through the Urban Concerns Committee and our adoption of Columbus School? Let's start with this day. What grade is this over here?
K1.
K1. All right, who's the representative?
Mr. Gerard. And if he doesn't do a good job, I'll just...
The number one thing that we need to do is ban video cameras from these meetings.
And tubas.
K through 1, I think it would have been nice to have about 45 more minutes to go through some of these items, but the thing we spent the most time talking about was the need for individual tutoring, especially in K through 1 when kids are developing as readers, and we want to start them obviously with good habits and support them. And I think we talked about parental involvement and the social aspect of the school, and especially with regard to our Thanksgiving dinner, how it kind of builds the community between the school and the parents and the community groups like Rotary. Obviously, the need for basic school supplies is something that's ongoing. But I think if Rotary could go in a direction to increase the partnership, it would be in the area of individual tutoring, maybe setting up a schedule where
Was that the teachers have books prepared for the Rotarian. And we also talked about involving Rotarians in our special areas, meaning they could go into the art room and help with some art projects, or go in the music room and play the tuba. And we also talked about tutoring as well. And we also talked about our Rising Star. We suggested that once a year was not enough. We need at least twice a year, maybe once halfway through the year and once at the end. And that we needed a rubric to decide who qualified. And it didn't necessarily have to be the kids that were like almost going to be on the honor roll. We wanted to recognize the kids that were really working very hard but possibly could never make the honor roll, so not even close. And then we talked about mentors for those kids, child study team that were in need. And we suggested trying to use the Rotarians like a big brother or big sister, like that program, just as a positive.
We really have some ideas on all of these, Dave, and I think that a lot of them we can discuss in a Thursday morning meeting or something like that. But I think the increasing reading score was an issue that I think can come back to Rotarians as well as any of these. And I think that the Rotarians that are doing reading might be able to do a better job if we had a little more training. And it might go away, the big brother, big sister thing was something that we talked about too, but some of us Rotarians aren't doing a particularly good job. Well, let me rephrase that. We're not doing as good a job as we might do if we had a little feedback. And there's some concern about how we get feedback. So we got to figure out how to get some good feedback so that we're more effective when we are spending time with the kids, so that we might actually be able to improve reading scores. Some Rotarians do, based on the comments I got, do a very good job because of the interest that they're able to create while they're reading or working with the kids, and some can't because they don't know how. So maybe that's a way that we can improve the reading scores and maybe a couple of things. Thank you.
All right,
What grade are you?
5th and 6th. Okay, and one of the big concerns of the 5th and 6th is that although the teachers generally feel that the reading program is positive in the earlier grades, when it comes to 5th and 6th, time becomes an issue. And story reading in the class doesn't seem, in all cases, although there is some positive cases where it works, to be the right solution. And the idea of tutoring or mentoring becomes an alternative. And one of the ways that we discussed was after school. Because there's a little class Monday through Thursdays, a twice a week or once a week program like that may be more beneficial in some cases than a reader in the classroom. The teachers were adamant about one thing, they'd like a choice. Right at the beginning, whether to have a reader or not. And I think there could be either, and one of the things that we discussed, there could be combinations of this as well, where a reader comes in maybe once a month, and then the other times he or she is available for mentoring or tutoring.
I think what Tony said, you are getting positive feedback. The teachers have given me positive feedback, both in Dr. Rotten and yourself, both
But
and with Mike Vanstrander, that they were all very positive and they were 15-6.
I got an interesting question to draw to the teachers. If given the choice between having a Rotary mentor or a Rotary reader, who would prefer to have a reader, and who would prefer to have a mentor? All those who would rather have a mentor than a reader, raise your hand.
Ideally, 3 choices.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Project. And the other thing was somehow becoming involved in enrichment programs like the Utica School program. became top.
Okay. So you'll compile those suggestions and we'll bring it to the concerns meeting. Michelle, you want to do 4th grade? That's Michelle Jackson.
Stop it, man.
Okay, we talked about school supplies. I'm Michelle Jackson, 4th grade. Okay. Okay. School supplies, we talked about how the children are not bringing supplies. They might bring them in September. By December, they're probably all gone. They don't get replenished. We had a couple ideas of maybe the Rotarians supplying us with them, or maybe having the parents give us an amount of money, like maybe $10. We don't have to buy any supplies, and as the teachers, we would supply the children for them with sales during the summer. He also talked about maybe replacing the Rotarian with an adult that would just listen to their problems and just sit and have lunch with them. That would be minimum weekly as an activity.
Parenting involvement.
Parental involvement. Okay, parental involvement, we talked about how we would involve the parents more in the school activities, how we would get them to come to school, something educational, maybe having a special project, or and thinking of ways to get them here, kind of brainstorm some ideas on what kinds of ways they get them there. Food, prizes, activities,
Cash.
transportation, daycare, bring your kids with you, seems to be a problem, but,
Good.
thank you.
Getting them done. So we've got a courtyard project that seems to be going forward now. And he asked Denise, the spirit who was there, a question. And he said, are all the teachers behind? And she said, yes. And I think that's maybe the most important thing for Dan, because I think he feels that he can cut through anything if he feels that all the teachers are behind him on this courtyard project. So if you're not, or if you're not aware of all the things that are being discussed around the courtyard project and what we're trying to do with it, then you need to find out what it is so that you can be enthused about it, because I think it's out there for everybody to get enthused about it. So that's kind of it in a nutshell. He directed me to go find someone specifically to put some construction drawings together, hire somebody. So he's willing to spend some money on it and find some funding for it, encouraging me. So we're off and running now.
A playground and a fence around it prior to worrying about the courtyard project. So I think that we need feedback from everybody in this room as to if you're going to have to pick one, and I guess the question also is, do they have to pick one? Then why is it, yeah, okay, we'll give you the courtyard, but where the heck is the playground? I mean, everybody wants the playground. So
I think that's something maybe bring back to the Thursday morning group we could talk about, because as I say, they ask me direct questions, and John, you've been at meetings where we've discussed it.
Well, I've been at meetings with
Frustrating,
Dan
but we've tried.
when we have discussed the courtyard, the playground situation, and my understanding is that it is in the budget, and that's going to happen whether or not anything's done in this courtyard. Well, that's part of
Say,
the,
for instance, if,
capital program.
excuse me for interrupting, but we're talking about parent involvement. I just, similarly to that,